Hey guys, it is X-Man, and today we're reviewing Mass Effect for the PC. Please keep two things in mind while watching this video. One, this is a download version of the game, so some problems that I talk about in this video might not be in the actual game. Second, I'm using a hypercam, and the hypercam and Mass Effect don't seem to work well together, so any lagging you see in the video is due to the hypercam, and I try to get the best shots out I could. Every time I watch a review for Mass Effect, I see a lot of people talking about how they have a problem with the shadows in the game. I'm going to let you know right now that if you turn the dynamic shadows option off, you shouldn't have any problem with the shadows in the game. But, like I'm sure you've heard before, textures do tend to load slow. The combat in Mass Effect does take a while to get down, but when you do get the hang of it, it kind of feels natural and it's actually pretty cool. Every weapon and ability in this game has its own unique advantages and disadvantages. But unfortunately, the sniper rifle is very useless. I just find myself never needing to use it. The animations of grenades and exploding objects is really bad. But once again, it's probably my downloaded version. On a little bit brighter side of combat, it really does tend to challenge you a lot sometimes. And sometimes a little bit too much. But thankfully it is possible to beat it. Now it's time to talk a little bit about creating your own character. You can customize almost every single thing about your character. Their gender, their first name, their history, their personality, their class, and every single facial feature you can think of. But I have noticed one thing on the female characters, that there's this weird thing about their chin that you can never seem to work out. And that sucks because that one thing you can't get rid of really makes them look like a duh. At least it does from the side anyway. There's a whole bunch of different face shapes, nose shapes, eye shapes, mouth shapes, chin shapes, and hairstyles to choose from. You can even give your character scars and makeup. But looks aren't the only thing you can customize. You can choose whatever you want your person to say, and you can say just about anything you would want to say. You can be really nice and make people feel all warm and fuzzy inside, like this guy right here. Or you can be an ass and pull out your gun, but this guy kinda deserves it. Unfortunately, what you say barely affects how you're treated and how the game goes. But that's almost a good thing, because it makes those very hard, story-changing choices really easy to sneak up on you. Fortunately, shortly into the game, everything you do feels natural. It really feels like you're actually in the story, and every choice you make is actually a hard one to make, because you actually start to care about the people you're talking to, which is a really rare thing in the game. Never before have I talked to a game character and actually felt like I knew them and there was somebody I could relate to. Never before was I actually deeply concerned what might actually happen to this character and whether they lived or died, which makes choices that much harder to make. This game simply amazes me. Some areas and combat sequences in the game can start to feel a bit redundant, but this game will take you places you will never guess. Just the story and the lore of this game is, you can tell, is really well thought out, is very original, and I just really actually love this game. This has to be one of my favorite games. I mean, really, I can't even explain it to you right now. this is one of the greatest things I've actually ever seen. It's just a really well thought out and epic storyline. I can't really say much more than that. You have to see it yourself. On a different note, the vehicle combat isn't that great. The vehicle is also very hard to control, and aiming is off when you're at an angle. You can just move and it'll suddenly be back again. But it does have a handy scope, which is really good for distances. Exploring uncharted planets is often pretty boring, and is only entertaining when something happens or you're on the moon and can see the Earth. Graphically, this game is amazing, and it's so high demanding, it was almost too much for my PC. I don't have one of those high-dollar gaming computers. I just have a normal compact laptop. Luckily, I got used to it, and I was able to turn all the graphics all the way back up, so that I can experience it like it's supposed to be experienced, which, by the way, is very beautiful looking, actually. You can actually see the pores on people's faces. One more thing before this review is over. It uses the ragdoll physics, which when you die, when the player dies, is actually kind of bad, because the player's weapon does not move by itself. It like moves with the player, and it's not in the player's hand. So it just looks really bad, and they should have done it differently, like the same way they did it for the enemies. If you like games like this Mass Effect is simply a must-have. You could say that this is a pioneer in RPGs. It was a first for just so many things for me. Never before, like I said, I have never felt for the character before. I've never actually felt like I knew the characters. They actually felt like they were friends to me. This is an amazing game that you really need to buy. I can't wait to play number 2, and it's probably a good idea to play number 1 before you play number 2, because I'm sure it's worth it to experience the whole thing. It was definitely worth it to play this. I'm the X-Man. See ya.